What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trick 10s. Today, you guys are in for a special treat. This build is insane. Now, this thing got a lot of hype on the channel. Originally, we'd ran a couple videos already on this boat. This is the Tracker Grizzly 2072, and we stripped this thing down to nothing. It was just a bare hull. We flipped it over, repaired a bunch of spots in it. We did a ton of work on this thing. It's got lots of metal fabrication in here. It's pretty cool. I mean, not only is it the largest boat that we've ever done, but it's probably the most intricate with these side consoles and the step. It's going to be a badass rig. Now, the customer took it. He did paint the outside of the hull. He did a bunch of electrical, and he kind of changed up a little bit of the metal work of what he wanted in here. So the boat's back. We're going to be doing some extra upgrades to this thing. And eventually, when we get done with everything, we're going to put the turf in here. I'm excited to get this project going. Also, I have Austin back with me. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's going to be going on with Austin in the future, but he is here. He's going to work this week and next week. We're going to try to knock this job out. Maybe do a couple other small projects in the meantime. I'm really hoping that I can convince him to stay long term. We can sign him back up as a permanent employee, and we can start pumping these things out every single day. I'm going to turn this camera around, guys. I'm going to show y'all what we're working with and what we plan to do with the rig. Let's get right into it. All right, so here she is, man. This is a big rig. Now, the customer, he went ahead and painted the outside and the bottom of the boat. It's like a battleship gray. Did a pretty good job on that. He also opened up this gas tank compartment and removed the gas tank. When he did that, he found a couple more cracks up in the floor stringers and the ribs. I'm not surprised because there was a couple dozen of them already up here in his front. So we definitely need to get those repaired. We're going to be installing his seats. This is basically the sheet that's going to cover his bench. We're going to put the seats in here for him, cut the holes for those, get the hinges attached for all those. He's got his steering console. He's been working on that. Got all his holes figured out for his gauges and stuff. And up in the front deck up here, we're going to be enclosing this compartment and this one. Now, originally he was going to put a floor in there, but I think it just got to be a little bit too much for him. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build two separate compartments inside of there just to blank those off. And we've got some other odds and ends and stuff to do. And we've got this gigantic box of SeaDeck over here. So we're going to be installing that into the boat also. We got a lot to do, guys. I am hyped that Austin is here to help me out because I'm going to need his help with this big boat. I've been working on some other stuff and packaging up some orders. And just this morning alone, he went ahead and welded out 10 different hatch frames for me. They're all sitting up over here. Big ups to Austin because that helps me out big time. These are all orders that are going to be going out in the next couple of days. But yeah, all that he did this morning while I was finishing up a couple other projects. All right, guys, we got a lot to do. This rig is not going to build itself. Let's get back to work. All right, so Austin is running these pipes up in here, and this basically just goes through the gas tank chamber, and they're welded out here. Now, this aluminum pipe will be an area where he can pass wires through here. He'll always have an easy way to get in there, because once he puts the gas tank in here, it fills this whole thing up, and it's really hard to get up in here. So he's got 2 on this side, we're putting 2 over there. We did go ahead and wrap up this other rod locker over here. This rod locker was a little bit smaller. It was 7'2", it's still a good sized rod locker. And then the one on the other side that we originally put in here, that one is 8'2". So you just have to remember, bigger rods are gonna go on that side over there. Went ahead and put a floor in here. This floor turned out really good. Looks sick. We're getting this thing wrapped up, guys. We're getting ready to start putting all these hatches and sheeting up in here before too long. But before I do that, I got a couple things we gotta finish up. Now this trolling motor bracket right here, I built this and he drilled these holes in here, I guess, so that he could get down in here and put holes in there. And now this thing is probably not going to be strong enough to hold. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this one off. We're going to make another one just like it, except we're going to bring it back a little bit farther. He's got some marks on here. It's where he wants it to come to. And then what I'm going to do is back on the face of it, I'm going to cut a hole in there, probably like 2 holes. We're going to do like a square hole here and a square hole here. And leave a little bit of meat in the middle. Make sure this thing has some strength to it. And we'll have one big cover plate. Cover the whole thing with some set screws in it. And that will allow him to put his plug or cigarette lighter, USB plugs, whatever he wants in the face of it. And he'll also have access to pull his wires from here and hook up whatever he needs to hook up. It's going to be like a little control plate up here on the bow of the boat. I'm going to get this done right now, guys. Then we're going to have to turf inside of the front compartments of the rod lockers on either side, so we can put all this aluminum in here. Then we're going to turf the rest of this boat. Let's get back to work. right, guys, we got all the metal work finished up. We're getting ready to start turfing this boat. And this thing is huge. We've got 10 sheets of the aqua camo blue colored sea deck, and we're getting ready to put those up inside of these rod lockers. Now, we got to do the rod lockers first, and then we've got a piece that goes up on top of the deck to finish it off. So I got to do this part inside of here before we put this one piece on here. Once I get both of these rod lockers finished up, I'm gonna show you guys a walkthrough of the boat as it sits in all metal. This thing is badass, guys. Let's get right into it. Man, this thing is really sick. It turned out so dope. Now we're gonna put this turf in here. Been thinking about how exactly I was gonna do this whole area right here. I really want to have this piece come up and roll over as one piece. Because if I have a piece here and a piece here, then we got a seam right here. And this is gonna be a high traffic area, because this is the step, you know, foot traffic up here. Up and down from the back deck to the front deck. It's the only way to get up there. Right here in this step. So I'm gonna make this roll up as one piece. Now, I was thinking about having this piece and cutting it to where it would be one piece that comes up and all the way back to these sides, but it's gonna be really difficult to do that. And Austin had a really good idea of what we could do with this. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start it right on this hatch. Then we'll have one piece that comes up here. I might even be able to make that all as one piece, but this is gonna work out really well for us because we can end it right here, and then we have a seam here between the hatches. Same thing on this side over here. We'll get you guys back on the hyperlapse. Let's get this front deck finished up. All right, so we got the front deck finished up 4 hours later. Pretty involved. This is a big boat, man. It looks really good though. Turned out great. Austin just threw all these handles up in here. These are all compression handles, key locks. Looks sick. The only thing the customer is doing with this one that I kind of think is backwards is the paint. He's gonna paint the rest of this hull, you know, around all the sides and stuff once he gets it back. And if he wants to paint the hatches, he's gonna have to do that. Now that it's turf, might be a little bit difficult. It looks really good though. You can see up in this front how we did that. That's all one piece that wraps up the sides of the consoles, the top, and then back down the face right here. We ran this all the way up, meet right here. That way our seam is in the middle of that hatch. There's another seam right here, but it's pretty tight, tucked in pretty good. All in all, it looks sick. I'm gonna get on to the back deck and the floor tomorrow. I'm happy with how this turned out though. Not much longer. And that's a wrap, man. This thing is humongous. Turf job turned out really sick though. Got all the compartments opened up. I can show you guys. Do a quick little walk through. This back deck was a little bit difficult. I mean, these hatches are pretty simple, but this one is weird because this is the one that opens up where his gas tank's gonna go. So that thing was a little bit difficult to get in there and cut around. It's not like one of my traditional hatches, but all in all, it worked out sick. These seats are really cool. It's got 3 seats in here, and this is one of those step seats. Push that down, get up onto the back deck. All these seats fold forward. He's got storage inside of there. Storage in this one too. And then the one over here for the driver, this one is just open. He's got a bunch of PVC ran inside of there. They're all labeled with different wires that he's got up inside of there, already pre-ran. Did mount his little bracket up here for the shifter. These consoles turned out great, man. I love these consoles. And then the step right here, it's got a cooler. Right behind that, he's got a big live well. 2 rod lockers, you know, port and starboard, the 8.2 and the 7.2. He's got lots of storage inside of here. I have to close some of these up so I can walk in here. Right behind the live well, you've got a big storage compartment. And then right behind that is another storage compartment, same size as that one. There's a lot of storage room inside of here. And then the last one up on this deck actually has a bin inside of it. It's a nice dry storage box. All in all though, man, this thing is so sick. I'm gonna have to get up with the customer and take this thing out on the water. I wanna see how this thing does with that 115 on it. It's a sick build though. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. These chairs are pretty comfy too. I got these same ones in my Stratos. Sick build, man. You guys gonna be installing turf like this, the sheet turf in your boat? Well, you might want to get some help for the big sheets. It definitely comes in handy. But if you gotta do it by yourself, take your time. Get lots of fresh razor blades, guys, because you're gonna need them. Wow, this thing turned out amazing. It's a dope build, man. It's a big boat, and we crushed this thing. I'm glad to see it all come to a head and finally get to the light at the end of the tunnel. This guy's gonna come pick his boat up. He's gonna get his motor on here and all his rigging done. And he's got a little bit of other stuff he's gonna do to it with all his electronics and electrical. But he's gonna put this thing out in the water, and I'm gonna have to go meet up with him because I wanna see what this thing does out on the water. I really want to drive this thing. Now, the whole layout of it is insane. Dual consoles with the cooler step, this whole front area of the cockpit is just really over the top, in my opinion. I love the layout of it, the way that the angles are cut on everything. It just really sets it off, and it makes it look like a real bass boat, and it was fun to build. It's not every day that you get to build a 2072, especially considering that they don't even make these Tracker 2072s anymore. So I appreciate you guys watching though. Big ups to Austin for helping out. There's a lot of turf in this boat, man. Originally, I had told the customer that we needed 10 sheets of turf, and we were spot on. I've got about a half a sheet left and a bunch of small little drops. Now I'm gonna come back and try to turf inside of some of the compartments, maybe the ones up underneath of these seats right here. And if we got enough, I'll do as much as I can. But this stuff's gonna have to be pieced together with tiny little pieces. This is definitely the biggest boat that we've ever built, and it turned out good. I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys think about this build. We got other stuff in the works coming down the pipelines. Summer is coming quick, and you guys gotta be careful out there on the water. Make sure you wear your kill switches and wear your life jackets, at least when you're driving the boat, guys. It's important. I hope you guys have a good summer. Practice safe boating out there. Just because you know what you're doing doesn't mean that everybody else does. I'll see you guys next time. Let's get back to work.